All right, so let's go over yesterday's activity. I've got my simulation here. I'm gonna shuffle, 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 and keep track of the difference in the proportion between the two groups, comparing the percent of yawners in each group, and I'm gonna jump to a really big number here. And yeah, let's even do more than that. That looks like fun. So that's what my distribution looks like. I'm going to count the number of samples bigger than 0.044 because that was the percentage that the Mythbusters got. And you can see I'm at about 51%, 0.5167. So what percentage? That would be, I'll keep it as a decimal, doesn't really matter if you change it to a decimal or type in 51.67. So based on my simulation, how surprising would it be to get a result that larger? So like, how rare is getting a number this bigger? Well, I mean, not rare at all. It happens all the time, like half the time. So is it surprising? It's not at all surprising. It would happen just about half the time. Is this result statistically significant? No, not statistically significant. Basically, this number right here is my p-value for this situation. It's the percent of the time I expect to get a result this extreme or more extreme if the null hypothesis is true. That is, that the treatments didn't actually make a difference. So, okay, that's like a really high p-value, so not at all statistically significant. So what conclusion can I draw on that point? Well, I mean, the technical conclusion that we're used to saying is, we fail to reject the null hypothesis, but what does that mean? Well, that means we can't conclude the alternative, so we cannot conclude that yawning is contagious. Okay, because the difference was only 4%, which just would happen from random assignment half the time. So we can't say that it was actually the yawn seed that caused the difference in the percentages. And the Mythbusters were absolutely wrong to say that a 4% difference led them to bust or confirm the myth. However, it's possible we just made a type 2 error there because we just failed to conclude the alternative, but the alternative might be true. So yawning might be contagious, but we failed to conclude that it is. And we just didn't have enough evidence to say that it is contagious. So basically, the key idea here from this activity is this number right here, that's a p-value. And you can find a p-value by doing a simulation and looking at how many times does your simulation achieve a value or something more extreme. And then the way we use that p-value is very, similar to what we did last chapter. And we'll be looking in more detail at p-values later in 10.1 when we start looking at significance tests when you're comparing two groups.